Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Adam. We are Southend Guy Paranormal. So great to have you back with us for the Monday the vlog. Sorry, as you know, I'm not going to apologise because as a game I'm trying to be in about 2 or 3 places at once, and yesterday was a meeting with the Southend Shakedown Committee, such that it is, where we are trying desperately to keep the event going, and the financially aside, the biggest issue I have is for other people who are prepared to give up a little bit of their time to come and help the committee. You know, I've got some very dedicated people there, but they can't do it on themselves. And when I put the video out, I think it was last October, asking for people, you know, if they could come forward and help. I think, whilst great, a lot of interest, no one stepped forward and said, yeah, you know, I've got a little bit of time to spare, we'll come and help you. No one. And that's the issue. That's how events go. And we've had 2 years of utter crap from all this COVID BS, you know, which has exacerbated situations, which is half the reason why I've lost a couple of committee members, because of their own things that they've had to deal with, no thanks to that situation. You know, and all it takes is for someone to come in and take over the reins. A lot of the hard work was done for 2019, and it was just a case of updating for the when we could get the event back on. Now, we couldn't do it for 2020, obviously, because it was still a lockdown situation. Even 2021 last year, the restrictions were still too great for us to put an event on. So this year we're hoping that we can go full steam ahead. However, as I said, the issue is I need manpower, and without that we could very easily lose the event. It's that simple. Alright, and as I say, and it's how things like this, we lose it. You know, this is how events get lost, because no one's prepared to step forward and help out. You know, and then it goes on, oh, you know, people start moaning because the event's gone. Well, you know, it goes because no one's prepared to put their head above the parapet and say, look, I'll do you know, I'm prepared to do a bit. You know, I did, people back in 2018 did at the time, you know, and I've still got the people there, some people there from the 2019 event who are doing it again, who are prepared to put their own heads above their and do it again. You know, and it's bad for them, because, you know, if they do all this hard work and it's all for nothing, then what? Alright, well, that's me rant over. Okay, I'm just sort of getting something off my chest, because, as I say, with people like my team put the hard work together, and ultimately is it going to be for nothing? Who can tell? Anyway, moving on. As I say, that's part of my busy life, and the last couple of weeks in particular have sort of impacted me trying to get some filming done, because the MOT on my car is due this week. Yeah, so that's part of why I've been so busy. Now, as you know, I've got 3 vehicles. I'm going to talk about my car first, which, as you know, is this Saab 9.5, and I've now had it 4 years, I think. It's got to be nearly 5 years. I've actually lost count now. I don't think I've owned a vehicle this long, and trust me, I've owned, I think it's probably up to about 40 odd cars, I think, since I was 18. But for some reason I've had this one quite a while, and obviously as that time goes, it's nearly 20 years old now. You know, they do need odds and sods doing, but it's getting that time to fit that in. When you're trying to do 2 jobs, and one of them is dependent on you having that car because you've got equipment to carry. So yeah, I've try and get a slot in where I can get the brakes and the tyres done, which are now done, and then the MOT's tomorrow. So I'm hoping and praying it will go through, but that's not it. It's needed a service. So that's oil or filter. I had to clean the EGR valve out again, which has got to be the muckiest job ever going. It really is horrible. Clean all that soot out. Yeah, air filter, which I never did for the first time, so it's partially my fault. And I've got one last job left on this, which is to do the fuel filter. And do you realise how hard it is to... I had an educated guess where it was. But you try and find... You try and look online for Saab 9.5 2.2 diesel fuel filter location. And nothing comes up. If you've got the 1.9 diesel, which is the old Fiat lump, this is an old Vauxhall lump, the T2. I think it's an Isuzu. Actually, I think it goes back to Isuzu. But anyway, yeah, so the fuel filter location just isn't online. It's really weird. As I said, the petrol versions, you can find it. The 1.9 diesel, I think you can find it online, but not the T2. Weird. So I know roughly where it was, but now I've seen where it is. It's okay. How do I pull this thing apart without screwing anything up? That's a situation I'm in. So yeah, that will be the job left if it hopefully goes for its MOT. So anyway, moving on. You all know my Triumph, and I've had her. Oh, where are we? 2022 now. 9 years this year. It'll be 9 years I've had this bike. It's crazy. Still feels like yesterday I bought it, and I still have a massive grin on my face when I open the throttle up on this thing. It just sounds great, and it goes. I mean, it's no sports bike, but it does go, and the power delivery is just brilliant. It's just this real linear drive that it's got. It revs kind of like a 4, but it's got some of the torque of a twin. You know, it's sort of in between, but it's a very linear feel, and it doesn't feel like a 4. It does not feel like a twin. A triple is its own thing, and I'm even at the moment contemplating getting a street triple at some point this year, but we'll see how I go financially, because I'm doing a little bit better than I was last year. But I digress. So yeah, this one anyway. I've got precious little to do with this really. The seats developed a rip, which I do need to have recovered. But the funniest thing was, I didn't realise it had been out of tax for 2 months, and it was only by chance when I checked, done a vehicle check, because I was checking other vehicles at the time on the government's DVLA thing. And I thought I'd just double check my stuff, and I'm like, oh, I thought the tax had, was an automatic renewal. So anyway, yeah, I've got to get this taxed. And then moving on, last but not least, the Honda. This needs MOT as well and tax. They're both up, and unfortunately, what I have to do to this bike is the fork seal has gone. So the forks have got to be dropped out for fork seals to be done. Not only that, but I've got to change one of the brake calipers as well, because a thread's gone for one of the pins. So that's something else I've got to do. I've got a spare caliper, so I'm just literally going to swap them over. Yeah, and it also needs a damn good service, carbs, you know, they're just little bits, because I do run a, you know, I've used it a lot to run around on. So yeah, so there we go. I've got all them three to sort out, and then on top of that, it's tax return time. Normally I get it done before the end of December. I don't know if I've explained previously, but if you're employed and self-employed, what you can do is, if you get your tax return done before, that's online. I mean, if you do your pay, you still do paper. It's a different thing. I don't know about the paper side, you know, if you're doing the paper version. But if you're doing it online, if you get your tax return done before the end of December, if you owe any money, and it's less than £3,000, you can have it put on your tax code for your job, which is what I've done the last few years. So if I've owed any money, I'll just write, okay, it goes on your tax code and you pay it off over that tax year. It's generally worked out quite well. The thing is, because of the tax year from 2020 to 2021, I've earned the grand sum of zilch, 0.00. I've been a little bit lax this year, and I thought, I've got to get it done, I've got to get it done. Well, now I've got to get it done, because we've got about 2 weeks left of this month. So yeah, I've literally just sat down and worked because although I still haven't earned anything, I'm down as entertainment. So all this work, all this that I do for the, you know, the filming from YouTube goes under entertainment, and so I am claiming for the bits that I've bought to get this channel up and going. So I've still had costs to work out, which I've now done, so now I can put forward and get the tax return, and then I can move back on to my video editing. Yeah, as I say, it's just crazy. I've actually had to take 2 days off this week just so I can get on top of things. And not only that, but I have been slightly involved with the local by-election as well. Don't really want to go too much into that, but I've been available for a few bits and pieces, and yeah, so yeah, things have just been mental at the minute. Now I'm hoping once the car's done, tax return's done, and I can get on top of the video editing, then I'll get out again and do some recording. So as you know, I did a little Retinum teaser which went up on Sunday, but I know there's a lot of you out there who's like, you know, we need some more, and and as I think I pointed out on the thread on that video, as soon as I've got 5 minutes, 10 even, I can crack on with it. It's just having that time to sit down, because the difference with the Retinum stuff to my normal ghost hunting is that channels like Crime Centre Courtroom and you know, when Theo was doing his bit, and Essex Crimes and all that, those guys will tell you the same thing. When you're working on you know, a crime, and if there's a lot of research involved, probably more than what I do for the ghost hunting. With the ghost hunting stuff, it's literally, you go online, look for anything that's old, you know, or there's history there. That's pretty much it, you know, and then we'll go and check the site out. That's normally the sum total of what I do. You know, a lot of the sites, as you already know, have been punts, and 9 times out of 10 we've come away with something. So that's, you know, generally takes a little bit less. Whereas when you're doing the research to get the background on people that was involved, what happened and so on in a crime like the Retinum shootings, it does take more work to put together. I mean, just doing the drone footage that Crime Centre Courtroom has used, you know, that took I think 3 days, because I headed over there initially, done as much film as I can, and my battery ran out, and then I went back again, did some more up. I wasn't happy with quite a bit of it, so I then went back a third time to just sort of finalise everything. And as you've seen on their channel, that was like the end result. Now I'll still get to use that for my own channel, because I've got my own things to put on it. That was kind of like my intended purpose, was the recordings I've done were to be used for my work, but I've got to get round to doing it, and it's having the time to get round to doing it. So yeah, there we go. It's a little bit of an insight into my nutty life. Now, content coming up this week. We've got tomorrow night now is a visit to St Mary's and St Leonard's in Chelmsford, which is actually Broomfield. And again, that was a bit of a punt, and it was my suggestion this time because I think a few have been tracing Ricky's actually, but this one was a where should we go and visit? And I said, well, I actually park up there quite a lot when I take people to Broomfield Hospital, because it's just nice and peaceful over there, you know, as opposed to staring at a car park. So yeah, I generally sit over there whilst my client's in the hospital, and then they just call me up and I go back and pick him up. So I thought it would be quite nice to go and see if there's anything over there. So you're going to find out what we came across on tomorrow night. And so yeah, I mean, rest assured, although I haven't been out filming recently, I do have a lot of content still to go up. I've got all the Rochford 100 to upload, which is going to be about 5 episodes on its own. Plus I've still got to work on the Hellfires Caves. I've sort of done bits of it, but it's just getting it all finalised so I can upload it. And there's a good 2 or 3 episodes worth of content there as well. So there's lots of stuff coming up. You ain't got to worry about that. It's just me myself catching up with other things before I can get back on to doing some more content. But as I say, rest assured, once I'm at that point, you're going to get some great stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to point out one last time, if anyone that is local and they'd like to help in any way with the shakedown, obviously by all means get in touch with myself via here, or go to the Facebook Southend Shakedown page and just drop your details in the messenger there, and we'll get back to you. So thanks once again, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you tomorrow night in Broomfield. Well, you know what I mean. Take care. Goodbye.